Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here on the NOFSRL channel, and this is qualifying for race number 26 in season number 8 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Darlington Raceway to qualify for tomorrow's Mello Yello Southern 500. 74 laps of action tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be a fun race here. One of my absolute favorite racetracks on the circuit. The Darlington Raceway. Very unique track as well. 1.366 miles, about a 1 1/3 mile racetrack here in Darlington, South Carolina. And both sides of the racetrack, each corner is completely different from the other. Turns 1 and 2, you do not want to get stuck in that outside lane, because if you do, you're going to fall back tremendously. You could have 5 positions lost if you get stuck in that outside lane, even more at times, and it just does not get any grip up there. However, turns 3 and 4, you can work that outside lane, especially when the tires wear out, and get a run coming to the start-finish line. So it's going to be an interesting race tomorrow, like I mentioned. 74 laps, one of the longer races of the season, the Mello Yello Southern 500, but it's definitely going to be a fun show. Always have a great race here at the Darlington Raceway. I'm looking forward to see who gets it done in the next to last race of the season. Colton Yello is out on the racetrack. He is the first driver to clock in a time, 28.744. Angel Oliveira, however, just took the top position away. Of course, a couple guys have yet to come on the racetrack. Julio Caesar and Stephen Thompson. Got Daniel Voiles right there, the number 31. And number 98 getting a bit of a draft right there. I really don't know how much drafting will come into play here at Darlington, but it might have a little bit of an effect. So we'll have to see what Colton Yello can do. But you see how close they get to the wall. It's a very narrow racetrack. Pretty much only have room to go double wide through these corners, and 3 wide is really, really pushing it. 4 wide is impossible here. There's just not enough room for them to go 4 wide here at Darlington. It's as simple as that. But who knows what we'll see. It's going to be a crazy race tomorrow, and in fact, drafting is significant, as Colton Yello, off of Daniel Voiles, is going to take the top position away from Angel Oliveira. You can see those guys come close to getting a Darlington stripe off of turn number 2. That's the toughest corner on the racetrack, turn number 2. And that exit, that wall, comes right at you. And Stephen Thompson, number 97. He's going to start his first lap. Christian Russell's there as well. It is still Colton Yello and Angel Oliveira, the 2 drivers who would qualify their way on to the Mello Yello Southern 500. I don't see anybody else getting times in yet. Everyone has clocked in a time under speed except for Stephen Thompson. We'll have to see if Thompson can put the title sponsor car in the race. Mello Yello 97 there for Outer Island Motorsports. It does not look like he got too good of a run there off of Daniel Voiles, and actually saw Colton Yello pulled away from Voiles, so you can obviously tell that Colton Yello has a pretty fast race car if he's driving away. And in the wall, Stephen Thompson, that's going to probably keep him out of the race, and he probably will not advance because of that. And he's actually going to head to the garage after that Darlington stripe right there in qualifying. That's a tough break there for Stephen Thompson. Had a shot at making it on for the title sponsor, unable to do so here as he hit the outside wall hard. And we have a new fastest driver. It's Christian Russell, the number 62. Just went to the top of the board. Beat off Colton Yello right there. Daniel Voiles is 3rd. So Voiles is now on the outside looking in. Oliveira has fallen all the way to 5th. But right now it's Christian Russell and Colton Yello, the 2 drivers who would advance on to the Mello Yello Southern 500 if the session ended now. The way it's looking, I don't think anyone's going to beat that time that Colton Yello put down. Voiles came pretty close in number 31, but he's not going to get it after just hitting the outside wall right there, so that's probably going to do it. Great run there for Christian Russell in number 62, and a great run for the 98 of Colton Yello. And I believe we'll have 30 more seconds on the clock right there. I'm not sure if that's going to be the first or second. If it's the second edition, then that means that this will be the final 16 seconds of qualifying for the uncharted drivers. But we may still have a little bit more time left to go after this. Number 67 of Zach Yello, he didn't have any drafting help, neither did Nick Smith. The two guys who did have drafting help, and they both drafted off of Daniel Voiles. It's Christian Russell and Colton Yeo. They are the two guys who are going to advance on. I don't believe these guys are going to be able to clock in another time before the time runs out here. You see just how close they come off of turn number 2 right there. We're going to see a lot of that in tomorrow's race, and it's 74 laps. It's a long race, so a lot of guys are probably going to have Darlington stripes tomorrow, and they're all going to get them off of turn number 2. But the two guys advancing on in uncharted qualifying, Christian Russell and Colton Yeo, they're going to join the other 40 full-time drivers for qualifying in the Mello Southern 500 here from the Darlington Raceway. So here we go. We're going to set the starting lineup for the Mello Southern 500 tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern on Napa Fan. From the Darlington Raceway, one of the longest races of the season, so a lot can happen. And I'm going to talk about this championship scenario here. So I don't know if I mentioned it in uncharted qualifying, but how it goes right now is that Nathan Baird holds an 86-point lead on Matthew Phillips. And heading into Talladega last week, Nathan Baird had a 103-point lead on John Arndt. Because of his last place finish, it's still up in the air on whether Nathan Baird will clinch before Homestead. There is a chance that a couple of these guys will have a shot at the championship heading in the Homestead. Now, if Nathan Baird gets a very poor qualifying effort here, gets a very poor finish in the race tomorrow, then we could be seeing someone like Matthew Phillips or John Arndt coming within range of striking at the Homestead Miami Speedway 2 weeks from now. It's possible. I think one of the hottest drivers right now in the series kind of is Matthew Phillips. He's clawed his way up to second in the points. He won Kentucky about a month ago, and it's just been pretty solid since then, trying to keep up with Nathan Baird. Of course, last week at Talladega was the best case scenario for all the championship contenders, with Nathan Baird finishing in the last position. However, none of the other championship contenders really got a good run either. Of course, John Arndt was also involved in the accident that took out Nathan Baird. Matthew Phillips had damage, and Justin Roberts had damage as well. And while they did gain, I mean, Matthew Phillips did in fact gain 29 points on Nathan Baird. He was still 115 behind coming into that Talladega race. So we'll have to see what Baird can do in this race. We'll have to see what Matthew Phillips can do in this race. We'll have to see what John Arndt does. And even Justin Roberts is there in the 38, 97 points behind. He still has a shot at the championship as well. Of course, all those guys have won a race this season. And the new 5th place guy in points is actually Wyatt Quayle. Number 33, 109 points behind, so even he has a technical chance at winning this championship there on the number 33 machine. There's Colton Yeo, was fastest in uncharted qualifying, and you just see the way he made a pass on Alexander Rowe right there. That is, he came really close to getting into him, but gotta be honest with you, I just love the way this place races. It's just amazing seeing these guys cut it really close with everybody else. There's your fastest guy, Daniel McMillan. McMillan's had a very solid season in this number 75 this year. Been very quiet, hasn't gotten a race victory, but he sits 11th in the points coming into this race. Very good for Rhode Island Motorsports, considering the rest of their drivers have not been doing too well. Jesse Turner, Matt Dalio. McMillan has definitely outshone those guys in that number 75 machine. But someone who's stealing the spotlight now, Nathan Baird, just went to the top of the board in the number 40. And he wants to prove to us that that last place finish at Talladega was simply just a product of Talladega and not a product of his success, because he is just lighting it up again. However, I really don't know how good starting on the pole is for this race, because if you get past here, especially through turns 1 and 2, you're going to lose a lot of positions. And yes, I know he's starting in the first position, but there's a very good chance that someone's going to get by him as the race goes along, and you got pit stops as well to factor in too, so it's far from over. But we've seen Nathan Baird, he's had these very bad starting positions, and he's been able to capitalize on them. I just don't know how it's going to happen the other way. He gets a good starting position. Of course, he's still the fastest guy right now. Will it go the other direction for him, and will he get a poor finish? Kind of what happened to him at Talladega. He started 8th for that race last week and ended up wrecking out and finishing last. So we'll just have to see how it all shakes out. Mark Davidson is second fastest. Alexander Rowe, Jesse Turner, Seth Cole, Ace Garcia, Josh Marzak. Colton Yeo looks pretty fast, and that number 98. And then Sal sort of rounds out the top 10 as Wyatt Quayle has just gone to 5th in the number 33. Check in and see where John Arndt is on the leaderboard right now. He is 35th fastest. Not exactly where you want to be if you're in a championship scenario. Matthew Phillips is now 32nd fastest. Justin Roberts is 25th. And the other driver in contention, Wyatt Quayle, who is now 5th in the championship points, is 5th. But something I think a lot of these guys, need to happen is for Nathan Baird to wreck out. Because at this point, I mean, he's going to get a good finish if he starts there, only unless he wrecks out, most likely. But, that's the beauty of it being a long race tomorrow. We just don't know what's going to happen. And for those other championship contenders trying to get something on Nathan Baird in these final 3 races, I mean, Nathan Baird has an 86-point lead. Of course, that's not the highest it's been. It was 103 last week and the week before that, heading into Bristol. And Matthew Phillips was finally the driver able to cut in on that race lead, or that points lead that Nathan Baird had. But we're just going to have to see if Nathan Baird can hold this top position in qualifying for the race. It's 74 laps. It's going to take a lot of work to do so. A little bit different. This is not a short track where passing is difficult. Passing is relatively easy here at Darlington. I know for a lot of other leagues it's not the case, but a lot of other leagues use newer versions of Darlington, and AI don't like that. They like this place, though, as the original Darlington, one of the best original racetracks in the game, and have no plans of ever going to another racetrack. No, another version of Darlington, I should say, because this place, this one's one of the best. It'll be a fun race tomorrow. Looking forward to see who gets it done. Elijah Gordon, or should I say Emily Anderson. Elijah Gordon Incorporated has moved one of their drivers into 6th. That's Emily Anderson in the number 5. She's 6th fastest right now, and I think she's 6th in the points as well. Check back in and see where John Arndt is. 38th fastest for John Arndt. Matthew Phillips, 33rd. Justin Roberts, 26th. That's not at all what you want. Matthew Phillips is heading back out there. We'll have to see if he gets a faster lap time in. John Arndt, I think he's worn out the tires. If he's still out there, he's not going to get a faster time because the tires are going to wear out in this session. Tires are really only good for a couple laps here at Darlington, and then they really wear out. And if you're still out there, you're not going to be able to improve your time. That's why Nathan Baird, when he clocked his time in, no one's been able to get to him because no one else has really come down and taken a fresh set of tires. So with that, Nathan Baird's able to been able, I should say, to hold on to that lead here in qualifying. This will at least be his 2nd pole of the season. I know he's won at least one other pole this season. He's not really been, the best in qualifying. He hasn't been absolutely stellar. Of course, recently that's where his struggles have been. He started deep in the field for quite a few races, but in the same time, he was finishing top 10 in pretty much every single one of those races. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does starting up front at this point in the season. Nathan Baird has definitely been the class of the field here in season number 8 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Kingart Family Racing, Richard Kingart, the owner of this team. They are a single-car team doing this. So we'll have to see how it all plays out for him in the race tomorrow. Matthew Phillips looking to advance his time. He went up to 19th. That's a pretty good improvement right there. And like I said, it is a 74-lap race. So there is plenty of time for Phillips and all these guys to close in on Baird. I would have to check in. I think it would be 47 and plus 47. So that would be 94 points. If anyone is 94 points behind Nathan Baird, or should I say if 2nd place is 94 points behind Nathan Baird, then Nathan Baird will clinch the championship. There's actually a chance. There's still a chance he could clinch the championship tomorrow. We'll have to see if he can do so, starting on the pole position. Most likely will be starting on the pole position. I don't see that time getting knocked off here in these last few minutes. John Arndt is still out there. That's a really bad decision. Matthew Phillips kind of had it right there. He improved his time quite a bit. Roberts is 27th, and John Arndt is all the way back in 40th. He was the winner of this race last year. So he knows how to get it done here at Darlington. He's just going to have to hope he has a strong race car and can move his way through the field. I mean, it's a good thing he's starting as deep as he is because he's on the outside lane. for the race. But the good thing is he's just so far back that he can get to the inside pretty quickly and move his way through the field. We'll just have to see what he can do. A lot of laps tomorrow. So you just got to take it as it is and just see what happens. Nathan Baird, however, going to take that pole, no doubt about it. Fastest guy here in qualifying at the Darlington Raceway for the Mello Yello Southern 500. Alexander O also is going to have a good chance here. Jesse Turner, another guy up there. Mark Davidson as well. And Wyatt Quell's kind of been strong lately. I mean, should I say kind of been? He's really been strong as of late in the number 33 machine. He's actually been creeping up in the Rookie of the Year standings. I believe he might be second in the Rookie of the Year standings. As a matter of fact, in the point standings, he's the second highest rookie now, only, of course, behind Nathan Baird. So he's been doing an excellent job as of late. Been really quiet. I mean, the spotlight has just been on Nathan Baird. Any other success stories that we're going to have, they're going to be overshadowed by the massive points lead that Nathan Baird has. But one success story that I was really happy about last week, Season 2 Daytona 500 champion Nicholas Samedeo grabbing his 4th career Chick-fil-A Cup Series victory after 3 years not winning in this series. Had a 3-year losing streak. Of course, he didn't even race in Season 6. But the finish of Season 5, all of last season, and all the way up to the race 1 week ago, Nicholas Samedeo could not reach victory lane in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, breaking an over 60 race losing streak. It might have been up in the 70s at the time he won. But great to see Samedeo get back in victory lane last week at Talladega. Of course, he really makes this channel what it is. That he gave us the most memorable finish in Chick-fil-A Cup Series history, and he's just a legend just because of that race right there. But Nathan Baird looking to make himself a legend here today and here this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He could clinch the championship tomorrow, especially considering now he's starting on the pole position. Mark Davidson, Alexander Rowe, Jesse Turner, Wyatt Quayle, the top 5. That's how they're going to line up for the race tomorrow. Seth Cole and Emily Anderson tie, but Anderson has the advantage in points. One more tie between Skibnicki and Spurley. Actually, 2 more ties right there. One right above. Actually, we got a lot of ties. You can see the ties, can't you? We got Sebastian Kugelon tied with Patrick Smith. I believe Kugelon's got that one. Master and Henderson. I think Master has that, and Spurley will be ahead of Skibnicki. But other than that, that's how they're going to line up for tomorrow's 74-lap event from the Darlington Raceway, the Mello Yello Southern 500. We'll have to see where Nathan Baird ends up finishing. Will he wreck out in the race? It's a very good chance. We sometimes see quite a few wrecks here at Darlington. It can get pretty wild. Going to be a fun race tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for the Mello Yello Southern 500, one of my favorite races of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Nathan Baird. We'll see you guys later on. What do we have today? The finale in the Craftsman Throwback Series over... Actually, that's going to be right here. Craftsman Throwback Series finale going to be right here on the NOFSRL channel. So hope you guys check that out and enjoy it. And then tomorrow at 11 on Napa Fan, it is the Mello Yello Southern 500. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Nathan Baird for winning the pole. And I will see you guys later.